have to say, this really isn't the comfiest bed. MDF really isn't good for outside. It fits! We've pretty much left this bunkie untouched since we got it at the beginning of summer. So now it's time to do some minor repairs and maybe even a big change. Don't really need to go far to see some of the first things that need to be done here. So first, even though we're going to be replacing this laminate, I want to try to use a hammer to push these in to fill in those gaps. There's also a bunch of random hooks and these hex screws, these metal roofing screws. I don't know why you use them, but they are everywhere, just sticking out for no apparent reason. It is used to put trim on and stuff like that. I'll leave those. But the ones that are just kind of randomly places, yeah, I'm gonna take those down. And then there's also this piping that's just, I don't know what that's for. It is here and then it sticks out the back, so I'm gonna have to, it's glued together, so I'll have to cut that to get it out of there and then cover the hole. I think that's a good start. I got the gaps fixed about as well as I can do. However, this end piece here, like this end, this is just ridiculous. This laminate is being exposed to the weather and just falling off. So I am going to do something about that right now. I have some scrap wood, pressure treated outdoor wood that I'm going to put here instead. I'm going to cut this off. I have this treated 1x6 from a junk pile that was dumped on the side of the road. This will be perfect for that spot. First, I'm going to make sure that the end is straight. Yep, pretty good. And then I'm going to measure off the width of the door frame. And then cut it to size. I can use this board I'm putting in there as a straight line to cut the laminate flooring. Oh, it's like butter. Stuff is just falling apart. Time to get rid of some of these random hex screws. They're just everywhere in here for no apparent reason.
What are you doing?
Why? They're just random. I think I got all the screws and pins and plastic hooks out of there that didn't have any real apparent function. And so now it's time to work on that pipe. Here's the pipe on the inside. And here it is on the outside. It is just loosely in there, but it's all glued together. So I am going to need to use a Sawzall to get that apart. I'm going to work on the outside because then there'll be less mess on the inside. You can also get a better look now of what this shack is made out of. Just styrofoam insulation and plywood, very thin plywood. The studs are actually made out of those aluminum studs. So it's been made to be very light so it would move easily. To cover this hole, for now, I'm just going to use a piece of trim that seems to have fallen off from somewhere else on the building. We'll have to find a better fix for later, but that will weather tight it for now. I have some scrap foam insulation and a pipe that hopefully I'll be able to cut out to then fill in that hole so the cold air doesn't leak in until we have a permanent fix for that. Okay, we'll see if that fits. It fits! We'll have to get some spray foam insulation to fill in the cracks there. And then we'll have to cover this wall with something. But at least it'll be a little bit less drafty now. Next, I'm going to patch up the trim around the door with this outdoor paint that we bought that we never end up using for a different project. So it's time to use it now. Let's see what it looks like. We bought this a while ago. Yeah, it's gonna need some stirring. Luckily, I have a stir stick here still. I was going to replace this trim here they have around the door. It is MDF, so it's not really built for outdoor. However, it is glued to it, and everything but the bottom seems to be in okay shape. So instead, I am just going to replace the bottom part of the door. I have this pine, again indoor, so it really wouldn't have improved it too much. But this pine trim that I have, we found at the Restore for a good price. I'm going to cut some pieces and just fill in the bottom parts on each side of the door. And then when I give it the outdoor paint all around, it'll be a little bit added protection. I have some quick seal stuff here that I had at the house already that I'm going to use to fill in some of these gaps before I start painting. Ideally we get a new door because this MDF really isn't good for outside and it's just falling apart. However, I don't have a door the right size. This is a really odd sized door. So to start with, I'm just going to paint it with some more of that outdoor paint. That is going to give it a little bit more weather protection. The next step is to turn all this scrap wood into a bed frame. All this wood was found on the side of the road. We have a video about that. And so now it's going to have a second life as a bed frame. Is that your stick, Caddis? We've actually used this wood that we found on the side of the road for so many things. It's on the roof of the drive shed. Oh my goodness, it's countless things we've used from this wood that was just tossed aside on the side of the road. I don't know if you remember, but this bunkie was made so it could be broken apart into two pieces because it was originally built to be an ice fishing shed. So this is where they're joined together. And there's one of the big bolts there. Another big bolt there. So it kind of makes it a little bit awkward. But this back area here, this back room, is about the width of a double bed. So I am going to turn the whole area into a bed. These end cuts of 4x4s are all the same size. They're 14 inches. So we're going to use those as the legs. All these fence boards are going to be on the top. And then we have some thicker deck boards, which we're going to use as the sides, and one for the center. 45 inches. So it is kind of almost there. Just a little off. Perfect. And now let's screw them in. I'll do it the same for the sides. I had some skinnier pieces of wood, so I cut them to size so that I could attach them at the bottom of the legs so that the legs don't splay out when pressure is put on the bed. And also it will keep them in line, and so that they will be, this one will be in the center, and they'll always be the same width apart. Also the bed frame is all one piece now, so that I don't need to worry about each piece is moving independently. All the boards are cut. And now I've laid them out on top of the base. So the next step will be just to make sure that they're evenly spaced, and then I can screw them in. So in order to figure out what the spacing will be, I have 11 boards, so I need 10 gaps. So I've pushed most of the boards all the way over to the one side. I have 3 over on this side, and I'm going to measure the gap between. So that gap is 26 inches. So I have 10 gaps, so that's 26 inches divided by 10. Nice and simple, about 2.5 inches is what the size of the gap needs to be between each board when I screw them in. Perfect. And now to screw them in. I just so happen to have this board here that I took off the wall that is 2.5 inches wide, so I'm going to use this as a spacer to make sure I don't have to use this measuring tape each time. Be a lot easier. I have 2 of these, so I can put one on each end. I have to say, this really isn't the comfiest bed. I think it needs something else. Maybe a mattress? I'll get on that now. When we bought the bunkie, the ice fishing shack, they already had this foam on the back area there, so there's enough foam here cut to size for that area. So I'm going to lay that down first on the wood before I put down the mattress. I made the bed about 1 inch narrower than the width of the back area so I can tuck things down the side. So the puzzle pieces, the foam doesn't fit exactly perfectly on here, or I'm just really bad at puzzles now. But I've got it to work. I have a few pieces extra, so I'm not exactly sure what went on there, but this will give a good base to put the mattress on top of. All I have right now is the mattress that I had in the pull-out couch. It's not exactly the most comfortable mattress, and it falls short of the entire space here. So ideally, I will get foam cut to length and width to fit in here perfectly.
What do you think? Okay. I think you like it. I think she likes it.
And that's the final look on the outside. I ended up painting all the trim on the front the same because I thought it looked really nice and fresh. And then on the inside, still some work to do, but it's a lot more inviting than a mat on the floor. We have full-size bed here. What I ended up doing for the end of the mattress was just rolling up one of those foam pads and fitting it in that space. It'll work for now. I'll need to get sheets specially made too because there's nothing long enough. And then 2 pillows. We also put a fridge in here, you might have seen earlier, that they can bring some food, and there's some water in there. I left one of the foam pads here where it was originally so they have somewhere to sit. And there is still that fold-out table and the wood stove, which we have yet to use, but it will be soon. It's starting to get cold at nights, that's for sure. Well, that was a long day. The sun is setting, and I'm ready to go inside and get some dinner. I hope you enjoyed watching some of the changes I just made to the bunkie, and follow along for more, because I know there'll be more.